Our New York Post Knicks beat writer Stefan Bondy is on to break down the Knicks Game 2 loss. And of course, we got to look ahead to the rest of the series. Steph, thanks for hopping on with us. They say it's not a series until the home team loses one at home, and that's exactly what the Knicks did at the Garden. Let's start with word is Bondy. Let's get this thing off
Okay.
early. I got to get your thoughts on Game 2 in the series so far. I know it's tied at one apiece, but who would you say or which team is playing the better basketball?
Well, I mean, relative to the expectations, you got to say the Pistons are playing better right now. I think they were the big underdogs heading into the series, and they look the game one kind of followed a script of the better, more experienced team kind of taking control of the series. And that, yeah, the Pistons played well for three quarters, but when it came down to winning time, the better, more experienced team, aka the Knicks, took over when it mattered. And game two followed that script. Same way. They were down by 8, same as they were heading into the fourth quarter in game one. But, in this matchup, the Knicks couldn't come through with the big buckets down the stretch. Mikal Bridges missed 4 shots in the final 4 minutes, including the one that would have tied it, a wide open from the top of the key with 11 seconds left. The Pistons have kind of just overwhelmed the Knicks with physicality, and that was part of their philosophy and part of their strategy heading into the series, and that part has worked out. So 1-1 now. I still think the Knicks are the favorite. I still think they're going to pull it out, but the Pistons are certainly showed life last night.
You mentioned Mikal Bridges missing that last 4. This offseason, the roster was built for this very moment. Like, forget everybody talking about Boston, but this moment right now, getting yourself out of, I guess, whatever runts or whatever it is, adversity. They brought in
hmm
Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges. How does Tibbs get more production out of those two?
Yeah, I mean, well, so let's start with Cat
Yeah.
because he had 0 points in the fourth quarter. He took 0 shots. I just charted it. I think they had 23 or 24 possessions in the fourth quarter. Cat touched the ball twice on 2 of those possessions. That's it. It was a Brunson ISO fest. And listen, it makes sense. Jalen Brunson might win Clutch Player of the Year. He should win Clutch Player of the Year. You want the ball in his hands when the game's on the line and when it's crunch time. But you have an offensive talent in Cat who's just standing around and doing nothing. So they have to figure out a way to get him more incorporated. Part of it is on him. I mean, he had such a low energy game. He's not crashing the boards. He's not setting hard screens. He's not moving much without the ball. So some of it is on him, but some of it is just the game plan that says, all right, Jalen, go play hero ball and figure it out. So Cat I think he needs to be getting himself more involved. I think Tom Thibodeau has to figure out a way to get him more involved. As far as Mikal Bridges, game one, he was benched during that big 21-0 run. He wasn't even on the court. So he comes in game two, and I thought he had a good game too. I thought he had a good first three quarters, but he comes in with about 7 minutes left. He has 4 of the biggest shots in the game, and frankly, none of them came close. I mean, they were all falling short. One time he drove to the basket, tried a reverse layup, and it hit the bottom of the backboard. So rough fourth quarter from Mikal Bridges, and they have to figure out a way to get Cat more involved.
Going forward for the rest of the series, do you feel as though the biggest adjustment that Tibbs is going to make is that going to be on the offensive or the defensive side of the ball?
I mean, offensively, I think they really have to figure out a way to get better possessions, easier looks from people other than Jalen Brunson. I think there needs to be more movement without the ball. I think that Josh Hart needs to step it up. I feel like OG Anunoby had a great game one, disappeared in game two. They had a good game plan against Kay Cunningham in game one. Kay Cunningham got going in game two. So that's an adjustment they have to make. So listen, when you make adjustments, it's on both sides of the ball. I can't put one over the other. But I think, my key would be figuring out a way to get Karl Anthony Towns more involved. I think that would be something I put at the top of the list because you have an all-star caliber player. He's going to be an all NBA player. You gave up Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first round pick to get him, and you can't just have him standing in a corner. The only thing he's providing, for the Knicks in the fourth quarter last night, or did provide for them, was space for Jalen Brunson to operate. And I think he's a more talented player than that.
All right, they got a huge game 3 up in Detroit on Thursday. We're talking about a Detroit fan base that's starving for a home playoff matchup like this. I guess keys to the game, man. How did the Knicks come out of there with the W?
I think they have to play better at the beginning of the game. Listen, you can say, all right, well, we can trail, and then if we get to the fourth quarter within single digits, we'll just let Jalen Brunson take over. I don't think that's a good strategy. I don't think that's a strategy that the Knicks want to follow. I think they want to play better at the beginning of games. They want to play better in the opening three quarters, and part of that is not getting frustrated at the referees. It was a poorly officiated game last night in the first half, especially. The Knicks were on the wrong end of some bad calls, but I thought also they let it get to their heads. They were frustrated, and it showed in their play. So there's a mental adjustment as well, and I think that that's part of the keys to going into a hostile environment in Detroit. Like you said, they've kind of embraced this bad boy culture now with this team. So it's going to be physical. There's going to be calls that the Knicks feel like they should be getting that they're not getting, and they can't let it get in their heads.
All right, Steph Bondy, safe travels up to Detroit, man. Thank you for hopping on with us.